Welcome to Stories with Sarah. Today I'm going to read the story, Duck on a Bike. And parents and teachers, if you want to stay tuned till the end, I'll go over how you can use a critical thinking triangle as a companion for this book to help teach language, lots of different areas of language. Okay? Duck on a Bike by David Shannon. One day down on a farm, Duck got a wild idea. I bet I could ride a bike, he thought. He waddled over to where the boy parked his bike, climbed on, and began to ride. At first, he rode very slowly, and he wobbled a lot, but it was fun. Duck rode past a cow and waved to her. "Hello, cow," said Duck. "Moo," said cow. But what she thought was, "A duck on a bike? That's the silliest thing I've ever seen." Then Duck rode past Sheep and waved to her. "Hello, Sheep," said Duck. "Bah," said Sheep. But what she thought was, he's going to hurt himself if he's not careful. Duck was riding better now. He rode past Dog. "Hello, Dog," said Duck. "Woof, woof," said Dog. But what he thought was, that is a mighty neat trick. Then Duck rode past Cat. "Hello, Cat," said Duck. "Meow," said Cat. But what she thought was, I wouldn't waste my time riding a bike. Duck pedaled a little faster. He rode past Horse. "Hello, Horse," said Duck. "Nay," said Horse. But what he thought was, you're still not as fast as me, Duck. Duck rang his bell as he rode towards Chicken. "Hello, Chicken," said Duck. "Cluck, cluck," said Chicken. But what she thought was, watch where you're going, Duck. Then Duck rode past Goat. "Hello, Goat," said Duck. "Nah," said Goat. But what he thought was, I'd like to eat that bike. Duck stood on the seat as he rode past Pig and Pig. "Hello, pigs," said Duck. Said Pig and Pig. But what they thought was, Duck is such a show-off. Then Duck rode no hands past Mouse. "Hello, Mouse," said Duck. "Squeak, squeak," said Mouse. But what he thought was, I wish I could ride a bike just like Duck. Suddenly, a whole bunch of kids came down the road on bikes. They were in such a hurry that they didn't see Duck. They parked their bikes by the house and went inside. I wonder what they're thinking. I wonder what they're feeling. I wonder what they're going to do. Now all the animals had bikes. They rode around and around the barnyard. "This is fun," they all said. "Good idea, Duck." Then they put their bikes back by the house, and no one knew that on that afternoon there had been a cow, a sheep, a dog, a cat, a horse. Oh, where's my chicken? A chicken, a goat, 2 pigs, and a duck on a bike. The end. Okay, so now let's talk about critical thinking triangles and why we would want to use those. So firstly, actually, let me give credit to Mary Ellen Rooney, who developed the critical thinking triangle as part of her larger story grammar marker, or really we can just call it a story map or the structure of a narrative. Okay, so the reason that we would want to use critical thinking is because it supports inferencing by pointing out concrete information in order to make educated guesses, okay? So when we're supporting inferencing, I like to ask kids, did that match what we see and what we know? Because that's really the knowledge that you're using. Does the picture support your guess, and does your background information support your guess? So that's a really good way to teach inferencing. And then it also teaches perspective taking. So again, it uses concrete information from your story to interpret others' thoughts, feelings, and actions. And also, the critical thinking triangle is a really important aspect of narrative structure as well as social interactions. So, you know, we always tell stories about ourselves, like, what did you do this weekend? Well, I did this. And there's, you know, we have to tell what people were thinking, feeling, and their plan, and our own thoughts, feelings, and plans when we're telling stories for it to be a good story. So let me show you how I would do that. Here's my worksheet that I made. Again, I adapted this from Mary Ellen Rooney. So this is what I did with the critical thinking triangle. So I said, you know, what is the character thinking? What is the character feeling? And what is their plan? And I really like this book because most of the time we have to make a guess about what the character is thinking. But in this book, the author actually tells us what the character is thinking. So we kind of only have the steps to fill out what are they feeling and what will their plan be. So if we go to the first page, we can look at Cal. And when we look at Cal, we can say, you know, what is Cal thinking? Oh, well, it says right here, that's the silliest thing I've ever seen, a duck on a bike. And we can look at his face and say, well, what is he thinking? His eyes are really open and his mouth is a bit open. His eyebrows are down. So my guess is that he's kind of shocked and maybe a bit unhappy about it. And his thoughts really support that a duck on a bike, that's the silliest thing I've ever seen. So he's surprised and not altogether thrilled with seeing a duck on a bike. Okay, and what do you think his plan will be? Well, when people are surprised and unhappy, they might jump back and scream, or they might say, hey, duck, stop doing that, or they might run away. So those are some of the things that people do, or animals do, when they're shocked and scared. Then Duck rode past Sheep, and Sheep says bah, but he's thinking he's going to hurt himself if he's not careful. And so if we look at Sheep's face, we can see that his eyes are open and his eyebrows are up and he's got his mouth open. And so I'm thinking that Sheep looks really worried here, because when we have a worried face, our eyebrows might be up and our eyes are open and our jaw is down and our mouth is open and we're looking really worried. And his thoughts support that. He's going to hurt himself if he's not careful. And when we see our friends that might get hurt, we feel a little bit worried. So what could the sheep's plan be? If I saw one of my friends getting hurt, I might say, stop and be careful. Or I might go and tell their mom, hey, they're doing something really dangerous. Can you help me with this? So those are some of the plans that I can come up with. And I bet you can come up with more plans as well. And this is probably my favorite character, Dog. Most of the animals that we've seen so far react pretty negatively to Duck on a bike, but Dog says woof, but what he really thinks is that is a mighty neat trick. So what he's thinking is that's really cool. And if we look at his face, we can tell that his feeling is excited and happy. His eyes are open and he's looking up at Duck and he's got a little bit of a smile on his face. So he looks to me excited and happy, and his plan might be to tell Duck how he's feeling and what he's thinking. His plan might be to try and ride a bike himself. So those are some of the plans that I can come up with, but you can model those for your children or students and then give them an opportunity to tell you themselves. So I hope you enjoyed practicing the critical thinking triangle. At some point in time, I will put the entire story grammar marker here so that you can see how it works all together. And again, that's developed by Mary Ellen Rooney and Judy Montgomery. So thank you to them for showing us that lovely narrative structure. And I will see all of you soon.